Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police.
Oh, jeez.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the beast.
I'd better hide my crack. Cocaine.
These are my vocal warm-ups. I do these every day. Every podcast. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I drink Himalayan rock salt water because I want a gravelly timbre.
Himalayan rock salt water.
Yeah.
Himalayan whoop whoop.
Why are you so excited for the Himalayas here?
Well, I'm trying to get my vocal range widened and
You're trying to open those chords right up.
I'm trying to open my chords way up.
Yeah, we're going all the way from A to G on this, like a Mongolian throat singer.
Oh yeah, I'm all in the throat.
Speaking of throats, apologize in advance if I cough a bunch.
Oh, you're gonna cough a bunch?
Yeah, Daddy got the old COVID last week. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, and now you're just right here, eh?
Yeah, well, it's 5-day quarantine, and it's been 8, I think.
Okay. Well,
my roommate got it, and it was even worse for him than it was for me.
Well, we're going to try not to touch mouths during this podcast.
No promises there.
Really hard.
Given the nature of the movie we're discussing,
yeah,
there's plenty of opportunity to get real randy.
Oh, boy. There is this... I guess forewarning. This one gets weird, and I forgot how weird it got before I suggested it last week.
It takes no goddamn time for it to get weird.
Yeah,
it's weird almost right away.
It goes from 0 to weird in under 60.
Yeah.
You got Nick Cage behind the wheel.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, he's not behind the wheel, but in 60 seconds he was behind the wheel.
In spirit, he's behind this wheel.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, hey, welcome to the podcast. Grindhouse Movie Club. You've been listening to it for a while.
Thanks.
It probably feels pretty nice right about now.
It had better.
It's nice and comfortable. It's coming in every week.
You know what to expect.
Yep.
We've got a solid theme going here, and that theme is horrible for the most part.
Yeah, and if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the horrible. Go to the website, darkroastcult.com. Listen to more stuff. Buy coffee. Buy pins.
Shirts eventually.
Yeah, and that's the ad. That's the ad. That's the whole ad right there.
Good. It's really nice that we don't have to do fucking a minute and a half of bumpers.
You know, I just can't get right at night.
You can't get right?
So I got myself an Endy mattress. Have you heard of these?
No, I don't know.
Comes in the mail in a box.
Yeah. And it's one of these fucking ones that you gotta wait 2 days for it to inflate and get into the right before you can even lay on the fucking thing.
Absolutely.
So you're sleeping like a homeless person, couch surfing in the meantime?
Well, it's also sort of sleeping like a homeless person because you're getting a mattress through the mail, and you don't get to check to see if it's got pee stains first. So
no, you don't.
You don't know, where's this mattress coming from?
You gotta unfold
Endy.com.
And then, spray it with luminol, probably.
Oh, yeah. You should always pre-luminol your beds.
It's either blood, urine, or semen. Oh, God, I hope it's urine.
Honestly, given the 3, yeah, urine seems to be the least disease carrying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and let's also thank Andrew for that theme song. Links.
Yeah, thanks. And now cats are doing loud things. It takes absolutely no time for cats to do loud things. The second you hit that record button.
Yep. So yeah, I'd like to thank Andrew. Thanks for making that theme song. It's good. It's good
right
stuff.
On the heels of talking about your cat shitting. Oh, you're upset about it. What movie did we do this week? Almost said today.
Oh man, we did From Beyond.
Yeah, 1986, something like that.
Yeah, 1986. And it was on Netflix when I first got it. When I first got Netflix, so like one late night, I was just like, "Well, what's this? A lot of purple in the cover. I like that."
Classic H.P. Lovecraft interpretations.
Yeah.
Plenty of purples and blues and magentas.
Oh my goodness. It's like they just knew that guy loved purple.
Yeah. It's weird how we can't get away from like similarities to Nick Cage movies still.
Yeah.
Every other movie is like, oh, Nick Cage could have been in this.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? I would have loved to have seen him as Parnassus in this one.
He would have been so fucking young.
He would have, but if we could imagine him as like the old one too,
Who the fuck is Parnassus?
Is that not the name of the main guy? Pretorius, sorry.
Pretorius, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the old S&M master.
yeah.
As for this fucking movie.
I unfortunately forgot about his
Jeez
about
Louise.
the special room they discover. But Do you want to try and spoil this movie in under 2 sentences?
I didn't. I didn't actually write one synopsis for this, so I'm gonna try and come up with one off the top of my head here. Weird. A couple weird sex scientists open a portal to a fuckscape dimension with eels and worms in it, which are all very phallic.
Okay. Dr. Pretorius invents a horrible replacement for Viagra. Stimulating your third eye is more complicated than the books make it seem. And then also, this movie is like the movie version of the Creepy Crawlers Candy Factory.
I don't know what that is.
It used to be like a little thing you used to get when I was a kid, and it was like a little factory where you make like gummies, but it was like little spiders and worms, and it was always like gooey.
Okay. Oh, maybe I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
I may have seen commercials on the old YTV for
very long time ago
for Canadians who are over the age of 30.
Yes. So yeah, the movie version of that, because they did like the Clue movie.
I don't think I ever saw it.
But
okay.
Have you ever played a game of Clue?
Yeah.
You've watched the movie.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Colonel Mustard in the living room with the candlestick.
Like honestly, it could be
the end.
Yeah, that's about as much as you need to know.
The only one I remember is Colonel Mustard, because who the fuck's name is Mustard?
Well, first of all, the good Colonel.
Yeah.
Second of all, probably the dude who invented mustard.
You think that?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they're called mustard seeds, sir.
Well, yeah, I think he was like, I found these seeds. Let's make this into a tangy condiment for hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah, they call me Dr. Mustard. In whatever year that shit, probably like 1200 AD.
Yeah, can we get I know how this like looks brown, but can we get this like an unnatural, unhealthy piss color?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Mustard.
Let's make it look like an infected booger.
Oh my god.
It sucks because it's like my favorite condiment too.
Oh, dude, mustard is so good, but like every time you go to have it, you have to put up with that awful mustard plug. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing of any squeeze jug.
Yeah, there's always
things come out of.
You got to pretend like you don't have to just you pick it out and then you close the lid, put it back in the fridge, pull it back out, and then you use it.
Worse is when you don't shake it first and like it's just water when it comes out.
Yeah.
That ruins the whole bologna sandwich.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't though, because really you're just soaking the meat in that sweet, sweet mustard water.
Yeah, but I don't want it like leaking out of the sides of my corned beef.
I think the thing I hate the most is the fact that it separates.
It does, yeah.
Like, what is that water? And why was it in the mustard? And is the mustard still mustard without the water?
It's probably just a brick.
Because like, can I just like leak the water out and then still get that mustard, or do you need the water? Is that Is that a vital ingredient
for it to not become so solid that you gotta like chip a piece off like a meth rock?
I'd probably just get new mustard.
Spread it like peanut butter or something.
If I wanted to shake the mustard and I felt it all stay on the bottom, I'd probably just get new mustard.
Yeah, that means your mustard's bad, man. This is a long conversation about mustard.
Well, I mean, look, it's either we talk about mustard or we talk about the
this fucking movie. Yeah, the options aren't great this afternoon. Holy fuck. Now, I will say I very much enjoyed the movie despite how uncomfortable it made me for 2/3 of it.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like when I first watched this movie, it was late night. I was just like, this movie looks great. Let me throw this on.
Yeah.
And then like I think they took it off Netflix the next day.
I would fucking hope so.
And I've been like trying to describe this movie to people, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. Nobody's ever seen it before, and like in this movie, the guy's trying to like describe how this machine they've built works, and they throw him into a fucking nut house.
Yeah, they sure do.
That's how I feel trying to get people to watch this movie.
The only person, and the weird part being this fucking, after like all of this, not to jump way far ahead, because there are things in the fucking intro scene that I want to talk about. The psychiatrist that meets this guy after he's been deemed schizophrenic has no problem believing all of the insane words that are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he's in a mental hospital talking about how we like unlocked the fucking eel dimension.
Oh my, yeah. She takes him right out.
Yeah,
show me the eels.
Yeah, show me that shit. Let's dive right in. Also, a little bit questionable to say, like a throwaway line about how she conducts. She's like a very nice and innocent like psychologist, but apparently conducts horrible experiments on mental patients.
Yeah,
she's got like a reputation for torturing schizophrenics already.
But absolutely, you take him.
Yeah,
you take this guy out there.
I'm sure it'll be fine this time.
And I mean, yeah, not to jump ahead, but like right at the end when they bring him back, he's like, "Well, what did you do to him? What did you do? Look at him."
He's horrible now.
I knew this would happen, and I let it happen.
He came in with one scratch on his face, and now he's got a worm coming out of his forehead.
That's from beyond, baby. Yeah. That's from beyond. This movie has a really weird, cold opening. So much so that I actually looked it up. I went and like found a link to make sure that you didn't just get like a weird copy of it that didn't have the intro.
Right.
So,
no, it just dives right into him fucking working on the computer.
Yeah, I was like, oh. There's no way. I think we've missed part of this movie. And
working on this.
No,
but I actually wrote down like I like that about 80s movies. A lot of the time, the opening scene doesn't give you a lot. Like you're left to sort of figure out what the fuck it is that you're in for here.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed is that when he's typing in all this code, he doesn't use the space bar once.
That's some professional shit right there.
Yeah, but then you see the code and there's plenty of spaces between the letters.
Oh.
So whoopsie.
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that, but
that's the first thing, because when I see people typing, I always look to see if they're actually typing words or not, and they very often aren't.
No, especially if they're typing like they want to. Every time somebody wants to seem like they're really good at typing, they just like
yeah,
but it's like
a hacker.
Yeah, but like
every hacker movie ever.
I can see you're just hitting like HW space over and over again. Like, type something and type it slower. I'm still impressed.
You're typing like you're pissed at your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, nobody believes that anybody types like that. There's nobody on the face of the earth that types like that.
With such vigorousness?
Yeah, unless they're literally a hacker. Mm-hmm. And in that case, just slow down, buddy. Just stop.
Yeah, chill out.
Yeah, the keyboard is going to break.
Man? You have a whole house with a doctor mentor who really likes to film himself whipping chicks and asking them to scream louder.
Yeah.
Really likes it.
And I think obviously the screaming bothers, what's his name? Crawford.
Yeah.
He's the other doctor. He's the guy working on the machine, typing away. His name's Crawford.
Yeah, it is.
And at some point he's like, yeah, he brings these ladies home and then they just go upstairs and they scream.
And I just lay there listening to it. Here's the thing. What's creepier?
Yeah.
Having chicks scream to get off, or laying in bed listening to chicks scream.
And like, if it bothers you, bang on the wall.
Bang on the wall.
Bang
get some
on the
headphones.
Wall. Hey, guys, come on. We have to share this house.
Yeah.
This is disrespectful.
Put some egg cartons on the walls of your sex dungeon to muffle the noise.
Yeah, like it's almost like he doesn't understand that they're having sex up there. Mm-hmm. And like at that point, like, why aren't you checking on?
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, they go up there and they scream and he's just hurting them. Well, open the door.
Yeah.
Check on him.
And then like the chick's gone probably by the time he wakes up. So it's like, is he just killing him up there?
Right. Well, so this movie, they cut a part out of the intro. This movie opens with fucking Dr. Pretorius putting a nail through an unwilling lady's tongue.
Oh my God.
So they cut that out of the movie. I probably wouldn't have continued to watch it if that's what it opened with.
If it started like that, yeah,
I'd probably be like, yeah, nah.
This is not really what I'm looking for right now, man.
No.
The fucking, yeah, and it's an R-rated movie, so it's not like they needed help.
No, there's definitely a boob in this movie.
At least one.
Yeah.
If not two.
And some adult situations.
Yeah. A couple really creepy, rapey situations in this fucking
Unfortunately,
movie.
And I totally forgot all about that, I was more mesmerized by the slime.
Yeah, there's a lot of slimy people, or what used to be people as well, which is fantastic. I really got Thing vibes. Mm-hmm. There are very thingy things in it.
Yes, there are.
So fucking, this guy's got I don't even know what to call it, some kind of fucking machine.
It's called a resonator.
Yes, it is.
That's
called
what they call it.
Yeah.
And it's a purple machine that makes purple.
It's made out of tuning forks, and
I did write that. And the Spencer's Gifts lightning balls, like the Tesla orb that they keep next to the dildos, is what that's made out of.
Nobody's hair stands on end in the whole movie.
Yeah, well, that's because they didn't want to fire it up because that would look too cheesy. They didn't want the lightning. They just needed the orb.
So he turns this resonator on and he activates a way to like pull interdimensional monsters and beings from the atmosphere around him, I suppose.
So okay, the tuning fork part, it resonates and it's supposed to stimulate this gland that's dormant in your brain.
The pineal gland, which really pissed me off that they pronounced it pineal the whole fucking movie.
Yes, they did.
Because it's not pineal.
No, it is not.
It's not a pine needle gland.
No. Yeah, they definitely did pronounce it wrong the whole movie.
It annoyed me every time I heard it.
It also, so this gland, when it's stimulated, it's supposed to grow, and then it shoots out the front of your forehead.
Yeah.
This gland is in the back of your head, and would rip through your brain to protrude through the front.
To create essentially a giant zit
but
on your forehead.
It's supposed to act like a third eye and allow you to see, I guess, into the fourth dimension. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what I got out of it.
But for some reason, it also allows the fourth dimension to touch you physically. Yeah. Because the first thing that happens is dude gets his face attacked by a floating eel.
Yeah, a very much puppeted eel that zips through the air. Yeah. No.
One of the best parts of this movie, there's like 4 or 5 of them on occasion, and it's just fucking a dude with like a Japanese flag on a stick, just waving it in the air in green screen.
It very much is, and there at some point there's like these jellyfish too, and they're the same idea.
I don't know why they have horrible tooth mouths like an octopus.
Yeah, that was again okay. Well, you see a jellyfish where it's not supposed to be. Are you touching it?
No.
Because the first thing this guy does is he's like, well, let me reach for that jellyfish.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about how stupid Bubba is in this movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I don't know how he made it to the title of sheriff, given that he's an idiot for most of the movie.
Yeah, he is. Let's talk about this neighbor that every horror movie needs. Calls the cops at the slightest hint of a thing.
Yeah. Oh, there's some weird colors coming from this house.
Oh.
911.
I mean, I'm hoping she's dead because she's not going to want to be alive these days. Anybody under the age of 25 just lines their room with LEDs.
Yeah, they sure do. I could see somebody from the parking lot of my building across that at because I get up at like 5:30 in the morning for work, and even at 5:30, it's like a fucking light show rave party out their window. I can see it all the time.
Oh man,
how do you get any sleep at all?
She would have the police on speed dial in this day and age.
Yeah, she sure would.
Oh my god. So yeah, she like calls the cops because there's some purple coming out of a window.
Yeah.
Where was she for the rest of the movie? With all of the horrible screaming and
terrible
explosions happening, and she's just gone for the rest of the movie. She went on vacation.
Yeah, I would hope.
Her service was just piss poor.
Maybe she just closed her dumb window, because when she calls the cops, her window's wide open, the dog jumps out and goes to the house.
Yeah.
Why, if you know your dog's gonna just leave without an open window, would you have your window open without a screen all the time?
Absolutely.
That's bad pet ownership.
That is. Screens would be the first thing I'd put up in there.
Yeah, that's how your dog gets abducted right away.
Yeah. So she, her dog runs out there. This cute little dog. Was it Bunny? I think the dog's name's Bunny.
Stupid name. Bad name for a dog. It's all good. Bunny.
Yeah, I was going to say something there.
That dog also has the worst intuition ever.
Yeah, it does.
Just beelines for the danger.
It beelines for the most horrible thing it can.
Yeah.
And like, so this first of all, this neighbor lady, she just wanders into this open door house.
Mm-hmm. That's trespassing.
On the wall, there is the "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
Yeah, there is.
Across from that is probably an equally as racist flag. It's the American flag with far too few stars on it.
And the stars are in a circle. Yes. It's old Revolutionary War shit.
Oh yeah, the second I see that, Bunny, I'll be outside.
Yeah, at least the dog's white, so it's gonna fit right in.
Yeah. So there's some trouble there.
I didn't know they used the color purple during a KKK rally upstairs.
Right? Oh my god. So already there's this. It's not a great house to be in.
Yeah.
Did you catch the house's address?
It's 666, isn't it?
It's 666. Did you catch the street?
What the Benevolent Street?
Yup.
How much more on the nose? You might as well just call it fucking Demon House. Demon House on fucking on Ghost Get Killed by a Ghost Avenue.
Honestly, if we were gonna go to that house, and I'm like, all right, let me punch that into the GPS. What's the address?
Oh, it's 666 Benevolent Street.
Nah,
No, fuck that house.
we're actually gonna go to McDonald's. Yeah, you can find your own way there.
Yeah.
I'm not even turning down that street.
No.
Fuck that.
Ubers won't go there. You're walking from a block and a half away. I'll drop you off at 600.
Yeah, some about 666. Yeah, you can walk those 6 houses, get there.
Do you think they chose that? Like, do you think if they put the resonator up in a house that was just like what fucking 238 Sunflower Court, that it wouldn't have been as horrible, the dimension that they access?
I think so.
It would just be like rabbits.
Honestly, I think the street had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Just like you're setting yourself up for disaster, putting a big scary house way far back on a property on Benevolent Street that happens to be the 666th house. I mean,
It's like building an orphanage on an Indian burial ground.
yeah, you're just asking for it. You're asking for it at that point.
You are.
So she like wanders into this house, and then she wanders up to this door that her dog's trying to get through, and then
At this point, the resonator has been working.
oh yeah, it's been fired up.
Dr. Pretorius has been brought out of his S&M sex dungeon, much to his chagrin,
Yes.
in order to see the resonator work. And then, when it does begin to work and power up fully, first of all, windows get smashed out in the attic.
Oh yeah, they do.
But he says, something's coming.
Oh yes.
And it's fucking him, as evidenced by his enthusiasm later in the movie.
Oh Lord, yeah. Something is indeed coming, and I think it's Dr. Pretorius first,
Yeah.
and then a horrible monster second.
And then later on in the fucking mental institution, Crawford says, it came.
Yeah,
So this movie is just, it's fuck from the beginning.
absolutely it is.
They make no illusions about the overt sex themes throughout this entire movie.
No, they do not. And I'm very sorry.
You fucking should be. My roommate Ryan was sitting behind me eating fucking bologna sandwiches and just being so, like, becoming so uncomfortable as the time progressed. It's like, what the fuck has Matt made you watch here?
My whole life goal has been to get more people to see this movie and to know that it exists.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm a worse person for having this information.
Right. So this lady, she runs up to the door where this horrible purple atmosphere is looming out from underneath the door, and then an axe comes through the door.
Shining style.
And it's like, because it's like one of those cool 80s movies where they kind of hoped that the story would overshadow how cheesy everything looked.
Yeah.
You can see where they like had already hit with an axe and like put a piece of fake wood over it.
Fuck yeah, there's a couple things like that.
So I'm thinking they probably didn't want you to notice that, or the fact that he just turns the knob after he puts the axe through the door and just opens the door with,
Why did he
no
need
issue.
the axe? Who was he axing and why?
He's just trying to startle that old lady who then like casually just meanders down the stairs while screaming her head off.
Screaming horribly, arms up in the air in the most like campy way to be scared in a movie.
Yeah, but she's
still sauntering.
it's just like one step at a time.
no
like,
urgency whatsoever.
and you can see like, the guy's like trying to get around her. It's just
She also,
oh my God.
the second that axe goes through the door, completely forgets her dog exists.
oh yeah.
She stops giving a fuck about that dog right away.
Oh yeah, that cute little dog that
Yeah.
then goes right in there to lick like the neck stump of the
Yeah.
dead guy.
Who just had his head bitten off by a monster.
Oh yeah, twisted off like a fucking treat.
So this woman is a horrible pet owner, number one. And it's just fucking clear. And then, so he gets fucking committed to a mental institution after being arrested by the police in the most inaccurate portrayal of how police deal with white people.
Yeah.
He runs out of the house and immediately gets a gun pulled on him and thrown over the hood of the car. I would have thought he was a black guy from Detroit.
See, like, yeah, I'm really surprised at the way they did that, because it's like he's running away from an explosion or like some horrible thing in the attic. Like,
Yeah. Obviously he's scared. It's not like he's a perpetrator.
yeah, but then you see the axe and the headless body, and you're just like, I put two and two together, and I know the dog didn't do this.
No, because I don't care how hungry that dog is, clearly.
I don't think that old lady could swing an axe over her head to save her life.
No.
So obviously this guy, And then he goes to the mental institution where he's with this Dr. Bloch, the cold bitch Dr. Bloch.
And why the fuck in every mental hospital is there one like curmudgeonly, dubious, rude fucking head doctor?
Right?
Super disrespectful cunt of a doctor.
Well, do you see what she has to put up with all day? Like you get to, she walks down like the Silence of the Lamb hallway.
Exactly that.
And
the only thing keeping her, there's literally a guy naked jerking off, number one.
Okay, my issue with that is when she looks through that window, if you look at the door, the keys are in the door. One turn of that key, that dude's out. Why would you keep him like that?
So able to just fucking access with his dick out everybody in the hallway.
Like why risk him just making everything dirty?
I don't care if jerking off is probably the most harmless thing that happens in this hospital. It's not gonna be if I get close to you with my dick out.
Yeah, I mean, like, we all saw Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
That stuff becomes a projectile.
Thank Christ the like little viewport into the room had glass over it.
Yeah,
That's the only thing preventing semen, just a waterfall of it, from coming out of that room all the time.
Flung like a Spider-Man web.
It's okay. He thinks he's Peter Parker. That's why he's in here.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. So
enter Katherine, the very unskeptical psychologist.
Absolutely. She's best psychologist in the world. Just hearing about horrible things and like, well, let's go take a look at these. Come on, buddy. Let's see the horrible things.
I'm curious about the thing that drove you to such insanity that you're in a mental institution.
Yeah.
That's something I really want to see as a career.
Yeah. My main concern with keeping this guy is like, so they saw that this dude got his head bitten off. Where's that head?
Where indeed is that head?
You're not going to believe this guy's story a little bit that he got his head bitten off. Where's the head?
Yeah.
Like,
there's one piece of this puzzle that's not fitting.
I don't think you can commit him until we find that head.
No. We got to dust that head for prints.
Yeah. Cause like maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we did see the neck was very much twisted. I don't think that's something people do, but
it's not the only time that happens in this movie either. There's a lot of neck twisting in this movie.
Oh my God, there is. But yeah, so yeah, Katherine hears this guy talk about all the horrible things that he just witnessed, and she's like, "Well, let's go recreate that shit. Let's take a look."
And is that how that just works? Like if I'm a trained psychiatrist, I can just pull somebody out of a hospital and bring them into my custody? Or you just gotta like without signing any paperwork or anything?
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean,
nah, I'm bringing them. It's good.
It's no problem. They had Bubba the cop, who was taking care of him.
Who's like an ex like junior varsity football star,
something like that.
Which is such like a wide leap into becoming fucking sheriff.
It is, but like that is the next move, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
you go from football to police.
If you don't go pro, you're like, what other jobs do dumb people get?
So here's the fucking thing about the fact that he used to play football. He clearly has CTE in this movie.
CTE?
It's the thing that you get when you play football for so long and you get so many concussions that your brain starts to atrophy.
Oh.
He does so many things that are fucking CTE things in this movie.
No.
The decisions that he makes, the motivations, the fact that his entire, like when we're introduced to him, he spends the entire time between picking up Katherine and Crawford and going back to the house laughing for no fucking reason.
Okay,
he plays like a weird prank on Crawford by like being like, "Oh, I put the child lock on so you can't get out of the car."
Yeah.
And then the whole time he's just chuckling like a maniac.
I didn't notice that.
I don't understand why that was the choice he made as an actor.
God.
Also worth noting, this guy's name is Ken Foree, and he is in the 1976 George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, he is. He's in a couple other horror movies too.
And I believe he is also a cop in that. And he's also in the Dawn of the Dead remake as a preacher.
Yes, that's
the television
the other one
for like
sure.
10 seconds.
Damn. Well, I mean,
so I like it.
Yeah,
this is my point.
I think he's in a couple other things that I'm sure we'll be. This is not the last we're gonna see.
Oh no, we're gonna see him again.
Of Bubba Brownlee, the cop.
Also worth noting, going back a bit at the mental institution. You know, it's an 80s movie when there's somebody smoking in a hospital.
Yeah.
Fucking Crawford's getting an MRI, and Dr. Bloch just fucking smokes up a storm in the MRI room.
Yeah, that
like
seems
it's
like
okay.
That seems like something that they stopped allowing long time ago.
I feel like you should never have been allowed to smoke in a hospital
Or on an airplane, for God's sakes.
on an airplane, because there's no ventilation.
That doesn't make any. You're in a pressurized tube of air. Let's have a open flame. Open flame.
Open flame tobacco hot box. I hope there's babies on this flight.
Fuck.
They're gonna land with cancer.
Well, I mean, you're certainly not going to get an MRI without getting it.
That's true. He really hates that MRI too.
Yeah. Oh God.
I was gonna get pissed, but thankfully, he was panicking a lot because he really didn't like that MRI, and I was like, well, he's gonna be moving around a lot in that machine, which means you're not gonna get a clear image. But he somehow, in his panic, managed to keep still enough to actually get a scan of his brain.
Yeah, he's thrashing around, just like, what pose? And back to thrashing.
Yeah, we got to fucking click right then. Like he froze for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it's like Squid Game.
And it's just they don't show a very good shot of the MRI either. They're just like pointing at it, and it's like you see like their shoulders, and like, look at that. That's fucking weird.
That's an enlarged pineal gland right there.
So I feel like it would have took like 1 second for somebody to be like, that ain't right. The pineal gland's in the back. The pineal gland's in the back.
We're just gonna call it the pineal gland from now on.
The pineal.
When they get back to the house, the windows that were smashed out in the attic aren't smashed out anymore, which is why I brought that up.
Well, that's magic, baby.
Oh, it's magic.
Yeah, that's that fourth dimension resonating.
The resonator fucking fixes the glass in the third dimension when it's done, when it leaves.
Absolutely.
Well, at least the monsters are good. They're like nice housekeepers. They like to keep a clean area.
I guess.
Until they don't anymore.
Yeah, until they become horribly slimy. And at one point there was just like water coming out of somewhere, and
and a giant worm.
Well, that was in the basement, but then there was water coming out of the attic too. And
there?
They went up there and there was just nothing.
Oh,
so I imagine it was just.
It was fourth
just
dimensional
his
water.
Fucking monster hole getting soppy.
First thing Bubba does when he gets in the house is trip over a bunch of fucking cables.
Yes, he does.
CTE.
He also is.
You don't see the giant fucking cables that are the size of cables that hold suspension bridges together?
Yeah.
On the ground that go all the way up the stairs in pitch black?
He's also holding a gigantic metal bar.
Yeah, he is.
Like, at first I thought it was a katana. And he's like, yeah, go on, and there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm like, yeah, says the guy with the katana. But
the dude with the weapon is fine with this house.
But it's like a big metal bar. It looked like a dumbbell thing. I think he was carrying just like weights.
Yeah.
Like, why did you bring that to the haunted house?
He likes to stay fit. He's hoping that there's a couple, whatever you call them, the fucking dumbbell discs. So that he can set up and work out.
I was thinking like what he's trying to stay fit for a couple of like those eels to put his dick in or what? He wants to look good for those interdimensional eel monsters.
It's better than Tinder.
Jesus.
The other first thing. So the second thing that happens when they get to the house is they immediately lose Crawford.
Oh yeah, they do.
He disappears right away.
It was like 3 doors.
It's a cop and a psychologist, and it takes 30 seconds for them to lose a whole man.
A whole man in a house. It's not a maze. It's a house. Like floor plans aren't that crazy.
It's not the fucking 13 Ghost house. It's not shifting around with glass walls or anything.
My God. I did like he was trying to explain how like people think that it's like the pineal gland is like, oh, it's another sense, and he just 5 senses wasn't enough for this guy. He just needed another 6 sense. Oh yeah, he just one more sense to be overstimulated and stressed out by. Fuck yeah.
You might be able to see into another dimension, but this is gonna ratchet up your anxiety disorder.
Oh, it gets worse. It's gonna get so much worse for you.
They find Crawford in the basement. He's dicking around with circuit boards and the fucking whatever the breaker box so that he can turn the resonator back on, even though he really doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And I noticed on the wall, this is a plumbing issue. There's an electrical box with conduit coming out of it, and then there's a fucking like a check valve for water lines attached to it. Like they're just like, okay, let's just find some mechanical shit and put it together. Nobody's gonna know. I know a spring check valve when I see one. All right, you don't put that on there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, I did that once when I made a prop. I just bought a bunch of
The vape?
Copper, yeah, I bought
Yeah, fuck yeah.
copper tubing, just like whatever looks neat. I just strapped it all together.
This electrical tape, all of this jargon together.
Yeah.
And make it look like something.
That's how props are made, man. Just so you don't ask questions.
You know, it kind of is how props are made.
You just don't ask questions. Usually they paint over things so you can't tell what they are, but
They're fucking exploring this house, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that, like, Bubba makes a beeline for the fuck dungeon. He just opens, I assume, opening doors, and he's like, oh man, what's in here with all these straps and chains hanging from the ceiling?
yeah, and
This
then
fucking sex swing. And he finds a television with a VHS player and plays a tape in it. What the? And then it's fucking Pretorius whipping the shit out of a woman. What the fuck did you expect to be on that? Look where you are.
oh my god, yeah, I was like, I wrote that exact thing. Like, if you're in a sex room with a VCR and a TV,
Yeah.
like, what are the odds it's not like a weird porn tape when you hit play?
Yeah, if I go to a slaughterhouse and there's a laser disc on the ground, I'm going to assume it's videos of cows getting their throats cut.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
And I'm
gonna
not
be
going to watch it.
No. Yeah, and like, if you're in a room with like straps and whips, and there's also a VCR and a TV, like, if all of that doesn't get you off and you still need to watch a video, what's that video gonna be?
Oh, man.
My word.
It's a rape revenge. It's just a straight up snuff film, probably.
Oh, that's what it seemed like it was working up to be.
Yeah, I bet you that's what it turned into if they watched for long enough.
But like that was an actual video on a thing that actor had to film for this movie.
Yeah.
He had to be in that scene with that person.
Yeah, and tell them to scream more. Having to be an actor and film BDSM.
Yeah.
Just to have it on tape for a movie that you're also acting in.
Yeah, so that's something he's probably got on his acting reel, eh?
Yeah, I wonder if that tape has he's got a different actor credit on IMDb because of that.
Oh my god.
He's Dr. Pretorius. Dr. Pretorius fucking horribly.
Oh, I had a mouthful of coffee.
We already spilled it once. What's one more time?
I wasn't ready for that. Oh shit. Oh my god.
So as like that's them just making their way up the stairs into the room with the resonator in it.
Yeah.
And they get in there, and fucking Crawford said he destroyed the machine. All he did was rip a fork off of it, and he very easily reattached it.
Oh yeah.
That's not destroying something.
Nailed it.
If I wanted this chest right here, I destroyed it. Watch. There. It's broken.
Yeah, I hired you to demolize this house, and you just busted a window.
Yeah.
Now there's homeless people living in there,
I
and
just
they're
left the gate ajar.
damn. Yeah, it takes no time at all for him to rebuild this very complicated machine that Pretorius was working his whole life towards.
The fork's on the ground, and he goes, "That's where I hid it." Yeah? In plain view on the floor?
I unscrewed that fork and put it on the ground.
Now nobody'll find it.
This machine is incapable. But yeah, and then he's like, I'm gonna turn this on.
Yeah.
Don't you move.
He goes, he turns it on, and for some reason doesn't leave his hand on the switch. Number one.
Yeah, what's that about?
If you know what's going to happen, if somebody's head has already been bitten off in front of you when this machine's on, maybe stay on deck with the switch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then, he says you can't move because the things in this dimension can, they see via vibration.
Apparently they're dinosaurs.
And or bats.
Bats too.
And so if you move, you vibrate through the atmosphere, and then you'll get attacked by eels and jellyfish. So what does everybody do? Promptly move around the room.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's moving fucking back and forth, getting real close to things.
Oh, yeah. It takes no time for Katherine to get horny and like look to the first thing she sees.
She fucking sure does. And then Bubba gets bitten by a jellyfish, I think, in this scene.
Yeah, because he reaches out to touch it after being told not to touch it.
Yep. Horrible things. He fucking runs over, shuts the machine off, and goes, I think that's about enough of that. It's like the most subdued reaction to your life being in danger.
See how I told you everything was everything?
You believed me enough to rip me out of that hospital, but not enough to heed my warning about the machine.
Now you got Bubba bit and he's tossing his cookies in the corner. Mm-hmm. And then the next day he's like, oh my God, he has probably, I don't know, one of the best lines.
Oh, what's that?
Because they're like talking about it and they're like, it's statistical quantifications, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, how about that hard-on I got? Is there a statistical correlation for that?
I missed that line.
And it's just like, you know what? If I was being attacked by monsters and I got a boner, probably keep that to myself.
Yeah.
I'd probably keep my hard-ons to myself, I
would
think.
say, like, tuck it up into your waistband, but as evidence later on in the movie, he's not wearing the most breathable underwear.
Nah.
You see a lot of Bubba's dick in this movie.
And you know what? I don't believe he stuffs. I think that's all him.
Yeah, probably
I think that was very much a natural Bubba in that Speedo? Is it a Speedo?
Yeah, it's you might as well
classic
call it that.
80s underpants.
Mm-hmm. And I got up to get a drink and accidentally paused right on the bulge as I was watching the movie.
Accidentally.
And Ryan was like, why did you do that? I don't know.
It's for you, Ryan. It's
for
you.
So for some reason, they decided to spend the night in the fucking house where they were just attacked by weird monsters. I don't know why. This woman is so interested in firing this machine up again.
It's because it gets her horny.
Yeah, it doesn't even require the machine. They're sitting around the fucking breakfast table, and she's talking about how the pineal gland is what controls how active your sex drive is.
Yeah.
And she's clearly getting wetted up as she's talking about it.
Yeah.
She fucking is like one false move away from pulling out a fan and just fanning herself like a Victorian princess. Because she's so hot and fucking bothered.
Oh my, I am flustered.
Yeah, and she doesn't go for Bubba, which would be the obvious choice because he's not mentally unhinged.
Yeah.
Now he goes for Crawford, the horribly vulnerable and very afraid man.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's like, I think at one point Bubba's like, yo, I've seen this kind of behavior before on the street. You're an addict.
Yeah.
And she definitely is, knowing the crazy danger that comes from turning on the machine.
She's got to go back for another fix, though.
Yeah. Oh, she's whatever that machine's doing to her, she's got to get more of it.
It's like going into the fucking 9th ward in Louisiana to score crack and being surprised when you get shot.
Mm-hmm. Slime ball monsters or not. I think they is that the first time they fired up? Is that where Pretorius reveals himself?
Yeah, I believe he.
And he's like, yeah, bring that girl to me.
Yeah, I believe it's the first time because the second time is when he gets her tits out for her.
Yeah, he really helps her out there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if you'd call it help.
Yeah,
it's more like hinder.
So, for some reason, he's like, yeah, touch me, I'm real. And Crawford goes to touch him, and he's like,
his hand fucking just goes into his shoulder like a goo.
And he just goes wild. He just starts ripping his face off. And he's like, ah!
He sure does rip his face off.
He rips his whole face. And it takes Bubba to this guy's face opening up like a monster face to actually pull his gun out and shoot.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I would have been shooting the second that guy's face came off.
Yeah.
And like he's there for a while screaming and like, and his face is moving around.
His head disappears and tentacles shoot out of that shit.
And then he pulls the gun out.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, okay, well, that's enough.
Here's the thing, right? Like, even if you don't think it's a monster and you're still skeptical because you're a fucking idiot, if you see a human being pull their face off, they're at least on bath salts. Put them down.
Yeah, it's time.
You ever see that shit on the subway? I'm changing trains.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sticking around for that shit.
Yeah, definitely gonna at least move to a different car.
So I believe at that point, Bubba, as Dr. Pretorius is showing up, he begins by speaking, and Bubba goes, "Show yourself." Why?
Yeah.
Why are you provoking a disembodied voice in this room?
For real.
The best case, that's a demon. And the last thing, you ever used a Ouija board? Don't be like, hey, show up.
For real. Yeah.
Give me a sign. That sign is your asshole getting pulled out through your mouth.
It is. It really is. Yeah, no, I
burn the house down as soon as I see a face peel tentacle monster.
as soon as I hear a voice that I don't see a body for, that's when I leave.
Yeah.
If I've learned anything from anything, it's if there's ghosts, you got to go.
Yeah.
There's
The phonetically go is right in the word ghost.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Right there.
Leave.
Ghost, go.
Yeah.
That write that down if you guys are taking notes at home. Write that down.
Ghost. It's a mnemonic device. So yeah, during this fucking where this woman is getting all hot and bothered by the prospect of her pineal gland getting engorged in her head,
her throbbing pineal gland.
And after Bubba's vomited his whole stomach, they're eating eggs.
Yeah, they are.
That's not, and like they cut straight from him vomiting to fucking either Crawford or Katherine. It's squeezing a yolk into a pan.
Oh, it's Katherine, and she's the only one eating.
Yeah, and it looks exactly like what he just threw up. How are you not? And even Bubba's like, how the fuck are you eating?
Oh man. Oh, speaking of eating, that first night, Bubba makes some. I don't know what he made.
I'll tell you exactly.
It looks bomb as hell.
I'll tell you exactly what the fuck he makes. First of all, you get into a house with a fucking machine that's showing you like monsters from another dimension, and your first thought is, I'm hungry. He, though, in spectacular racist fashion, it's important to note that Bubba is quite black. Don't know why they gave him the name Bubba. That seems racist in itself. But what he makes is fucking biscuits and gravy.
Oh my god, that looks so good.
Is he straight up from Georgia?
It's the most southern looking meal, but it looks so good.
Racist. Also, he smells it and he almost comes.
Well, I mean, I saw it and I almost as well. So, I mean, I don't care. It looked good.
It looked all right.
I would have eaten 3.
It's Ryan thought it was dumplings. I was like, I don't know how much Asian influence there is in this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's
He's
much.
biased because he's looking at it through half Korean eyes.
So this whole movie is just like Katherine trying to come up with an excuse to fire up this machine.
Yeah, and try to like garner sympathy from these two people about it. Is like, I want schizophrenics. I'm trying to help out schizophrenic people. Don't you want me to be successful in this? Oh, by the way, I want to fuck this Pretorius monster so bad.
Yeah, and
Let's
like
gloss over the part where I want to turn on the machine so that I can get filled up, and then like they keep firing the machine up, and fucking Bubba's so interested in sticking around that he actually is like, they're talking about leaving, and he's like, yeah, let's get some rest first. It's the middle of the day.
yeah, it doesn't seem like there's ever a nighttime in this movie, even when they're like
At the very beginning, and that's like it.
And even then, like, it's still light, and they flip their flashlight on, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was daytime.
Yeah.
What's this? Yeah, and then so they go to bed, and then she flips the machine on. Surprise, surprise.
She wakes up from probably a wet dream, and just she knows exactly where she needs to go.
And it gets Crawford's spidey sense throbbing.
Yeah, it sure does.
Just through. Oh my god!
He knows exactly what's going down.
The weirdest like monster inside me, bug under my skin, maggots trying to burrow up through your skull, kind of way. Ugh.
When she fucking turns the machine on and she's by herself, I first of all don't know what the fuck you'd expect except to get raped. But and this is how you know it's an 80s movie as well, she sleeps in a 90-year-old woman's nightgown.
Yeah, she does.
I've never seen anybody but my grandmother wear a nightgown like that.
Well, it was the thing. In the 80s.
Yeah.
Dress as an old lady, go to bed, wake up as a young lady. That was the.
Apparently, it's really hot to think about a senior citizen when you look in the mirror.
Well, it's they're so breezy and
yeah, obviously Pretorius loves it because he is 80.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's just weird. He's so fucking weird old man.
Yeah, I don't know why they put Crawford sleeps in the sex dungeon.
Does he sleep in the sex dungeon?
He fucking sure does.
Okay.
He sleeps in the sex dungeon, and then after he gets forehead wormed, they put him in the sex dungeon to heal up.
Because I thought it was a weird choice to like put him in the sex dungeon to nurse him back to health.
Exactly.
I figured he would have, I don't know, slept in his own bed.
Yeah, given that he lived there.
Yeah, and that maybe somebody else or just nobody sleeps in the sex room. It's a big house.
Yeah.
How about nobody sleeps
How
where
about put a padlock on the sex room?
Yeah, where Pretorius had his bare balls and ass out. Let's maybe not sleep in this room where you can still kind of smell it.
Exactly, yeah. It still smells like wet banging.
And Katherine, like, she really smells it. She just gets a big whiff of that leather, and she's like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah, she turns the machine on and she gets possessed by sex. and the need to have it.
Yeah, she does.
Doesn't really make too much damn sense.
Yeah, she puts on this BDSM leather dominatrix kind of suit outfit.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact, she later sold at a yard sale.
I did see that. The trivia page for this was pretty bereft, actually.
It was. There wasn't a whole lot. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of mistakes that they like to point out, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, tons. So fucking, yeah. She flips this switch, and Pretorius shows up.
And he makes it weird.
He's now a man and a half for some reason.
Yeah, he became, like, he's like, what have you become? I become myself. Mm-hmm. Is yourself half mashed potatoes? Did yourself get caught in a fucking tire fire? Like, his arm is like permanently glued to his chest.
Yeah, he laid down half of his body in an industrial press.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Grabs Katherine and just goes to town.
It gets weird.
Some of the grossest, creepiest shit anybody. He's smelling her and he goes, smell.
Yeah.
And then he licks her face and he goes, taste. And then he sticks his hand in the air and his fingers grow like he's got arachnodactyli, like he's fucking Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, his fingers get longer and then it gets worse.
And then the third sense becomes feel.
Ugh.
Up and down titties.
Oh,
with no remorse.
She's like, "What are you gonna do to me? Oh, I'm gonna kiss you." And apparently, that was the worst option.
Yeah,
that was literally out of any of the things he could have done, kissing. Mm-hmm. Worse. And do you color out a space kiss or this kiss? Which kiss? Which one's worse?
I was thinking about it, and I think this one is slightly less gross than the color out of space kiss.
Okay.
Just because the sliminess.
Fair enough. I mean, she is getting her head sucked on.
That is true.
It's more of a suck than a kiss.
It's not quite the same. But yeah, but like it's also not romantic. Which,
no.
Which helped. Which made it less gross to me.
Yeah.
Because the color out of space kiss is like this is the last kiss I'm ever gonna have in my life, and I'm really gonna mean it on your goo mouth.
Yes, it was tender in the wrong ways.
Yeah, and you're just not going to care about the fucking soybean paste that you pull off on your lips when you're done? You're just cool with that?
Fermented juices.
Get a handkerchief?
A handkerchief.
Yeah. So this is happening, and they can't shut the machine off because it's thinking for itself now. It's turning itself on and shit.
It's powered by the power of horny.
Yeah, which apparently is just the strongest power.
Yeah, it's the strongest force known to man, the power of horny.
Everybody in this movie needs a little post-nut clarity.
Yeah, they really do.
So that they can leave. Wow, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, oh, maybe
it's like looking up trannies on the internet. You just close the window and sit in the shame.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to be looking at tentacle monsters no more.
So motherfucking Crawford's like, I got to do something about this. Oh, yeah, the breaker in the basement. And he begins to take what's the fuck word I'm trying to find? Take off, anyway. He begins to run to the basement, and he's promptly tackled by Bubba with his dick all the way out in that underwear.
Yeah.
There's no way Shaft didn't rub up against like Crawford's head as he gets tackled down the stairs like that.
It seemed to be the least of his concern, too.
And also, like, why are you being so aggressive in trying to stop him? He hasn't done a single thing to make you like believe that he's trying to escape or trying to be harmful to you at all.
Yeah, he's
just trust that he knows what he's doing.
He's shown you the fourth dimension.
Yeah, he's going somewhere with urgency.
Give him some credit.
There's a reason.
Yeah, follow behind.
Mm-hmm. Which he does to Bubba's credit.
Yeah, if you ever see a bomb technician running, you get behind him.
And then they get to the basement and they're promptly attacked by a giant water worm.
You know what they say? Dune in the basement. Fourth dimensional makeout in the attic.
Also, yeah, I wrote down right here, nobody has ever said, I'm going to kiss you in a more threatening way than Pretorius says it.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to kiss you. Like, you're never going to come back from this kiss.
Oh my, yeah, it's a... it's a fucking horrible kiss.
I call this water worm a fucking tremor because it looks like a fucking tremor, dude.
It does.
It's a worm with a mouthful of teeth. It's either a tremor or a sarlacc.
Yeah. It's like it looks like well, no, I guess it doesn't quite look like the sandworms. I called it a sandworm from like Beetlejuice.
It does. The sandworm from Dune.
Yeah, more from Dune.
Yeah.
And it it half eats Crawford.
It sure
It gets him
does.
half in there.
Yeah. And he comes out with like cancer.
He looks like powder. He looks like powder from Powder.
I don't know what that is.
You've never seen
you
Powder?
meant literally just powder.
No, man. You've never seen Powder?
No.
So it's about this guy. He's like a bald, pale guy, and he's got this ability to like make people feel pain.
Okay.
So there's like, to give you an example, like there's a guy and he shoots a deer. And he like grabs the hunter and he grabs the deer and he's like, yeah, feel the deer's pain. Yeah.
Like
and
the fucking alien in Dreamcatcher.
something like that. It's very much like that movie.
Okay.
And then
I was trying to think of the other thing, but there's another movie I swear, E.T., where he fucking sticks his gross gnarled finger out and it glows and you fucking get healed by it.
something like that. Yeah, it's along those lines.
Yeah.
But it's like a guy and he looks just like this guy.
He's got ESP. He looks exactly like him too.
I'll show you a picture later.
That's amazing. Yeah. So they fucking encounter this water worm trying to flip the breaker. Bit of advice for Bubba. If you're going to fight a water worm with hundreds of teeth, put some pants on.
Yeah.
You don't want your junk dangling around where it could be sucked on and bitten by teeth.
Yeah, it's like if you're uncircumcised, there's extra danger right there.
Either you could get stuck.
Yeah.
You don't want to dock with this worm.
You definitely don't need that extra flap of skin catching on anything. Honestly, you know what? If you're sleeping in your underwear and you're going to get out of bed, put on pants.
That's a good idea.
Especially if there's like noises happening.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to leave the house. Put on pants.
Noises enough to make you panic and want to tackle a guy.
And like,
That's a pants situation.
if you're going to be
And
running,
shirt.
yeah, shoes, even socks. If you're going to be running downstairs, like pants, man.
Yeah.
You know what you're wearing and you know what's in what you're wearing.
And it's flopping around.
Yeah, you know the movements.
Kudos to Bubba for just owning his fucking hammer. It's like, yeah, I got this fucking thing. Look at it.
How much of this podcast has been about?
I was gonna talk about his dick for an hour and a half. It's all good. Maybe that's his way of establishing dominance. Like when you try to make yourself big to scare a cougar off.
Yeah.
It's like, just let me get hard for a second. Pretorius is gonna run away screaming.
Yeah, he gets a half mast so that in the occasion he needs to be full mast, he's already partway there, you know?
Yeah, like a peacock.
Or maybe there's just like all the excitement, being jostled out of bed. Like, you know, it's things happen when you wake up, you know?
So I wrote down, and I can't remember if it's about the water worm when Crawford's getting half ingested, or if it was about Pretorius sucking on Catherine's head. But people who kiss open mouth right off the bat are as bad as this monster. You ever see somebody who's very uneducated in how to kiss, and they just come at you with their mouth wide open?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like that old TV show where like virgins get married.
Yeah,
And it's like you can kiss the bride, and it's just two people going at it teeth first.
I think there's a montage on YouTube. Honestly, I'm pretty sure there's a montage of that on YouTube.
Fucking embarrassing.
Oh my god!
Keep your mouth shut.
When somebody comes at you with their mouth open like that, what you do is you meet them with your mouth open like that, and then you create a suction and just blow air, blow air and pop their ears.
There's an episode of Home Movies where Coach McGurk is doing lifeguard training, and he has to give CPR to a dummy. And the trainer is like, well, yeah, we sterilize the dummy after each, kissing. And he's like, this is CPR. I'm blowing into, this isn't really kissing, is it? That's pretty much kissing. I don't do that I don't blow into him when I kiss. Well, I do. Maybe I blow into him. Maybe it makes him a little bit uncomfortable when I'm on a date. So then what do? I tell him I'm sorry. Give me another shot. This time I won't breathe into you. And then what? I breathe into him.
Oh my god.
So yeah, if you're kissing open and you're the only one, yeah, you're essentially breathing into him.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
I wrote down, why did getting eaten by a worm age Crawford 70 years?
Yeah.
Like there's some fucking weird time-space continuum change inside the worm's throat.
He was half in there. I don't know what, or like maybe just like the inside of the worm was Nair and it just made him smooth as a baby's bottom. But yeah, they chose to bring Crawford after this traumatic event to like the sex dungeon
to the
where
fucking sex.
Pretorius
Why?
just swats ladies' butts all day.
Yeah, at least, but probably more than just that.
And then fucking Katherine makes it weird. Mm-hmm. Real fucking weird.
To fucking just straps right into the S&M bodysuit.
She gets wildly inappropriate.
And this man, let's explain for a second. First of all, Bubba's just wearing his fucking football jersey like he's trying to relive the good old days of being 17. But this man, Crawford, is in like a weird coma. He is unresponsive.
Yeah.
And she gets so fucking wet about it.
Oh boy, does she ever.
That she can't help donning the fucking dominatrix suit and hopping right on his unconscious body.
Oh yeah, well first she plays with his worm. She like reaches in, she grabs his worm.
He comes out of the fucking worm mouth with a little tiny worm, which I swear to God is like a euphemism for a dick.
It ought to be.
Given the way that like that's the pineal gland, like third eye coming out to sense things.
And the way it helicopters around and slaps people.
Yeah, like a barnacle trying to find a mate.
Yeah,
or an elephant. Their dicks also do that, so enjoy that information.
Yeah.
Hops right on him like it's a goddamn frat house.
Oh, she makes it fucking weird.
Like a date rape.
Yeah, just like one. In fact.
Oh, you're passed out?
Yeah. And then the Resonator repairs itself with the power of horny.
Yep.
They go up there and Bubba gets eaten by an interdimensional swarm until it's just like his little bony puppet arms.
So this is a thing that's fucking important to me. These flies come out, right?
Oh yeah, we'll call them flies, sure.
I don't know what they are. They're some kind of weird bug insect.
They look like little styrofoam balls.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
I like to think of them as like the black scarabs from the Mummy.
Sure, absolutely.
They just eat your whole body. So everybody's getting attacked at first. Everybody's getting attacked by these styrofoam bugs.
Yeah.
And then fucking Bubba grabs a flashlight and he shines a flashlight on Crawford's back and the bugs leave.
Yeah, they do.
And then he fucking drops the flashlight. Obviously, this is an effective way to deter these things.
Yeah.
And what does he get for his trouble? Eaten. He gets so fucking eaten that it's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
He's nothing but like wet flesh and bones by the end.
Yeah, little puppet arms just like, help.
It looks a little bit like he dies with his middle finger up, which is hilarious.
Yes, it is.
That's like the most extended part.
I'm gonna pretend like that he did die with his finger. I like that whenever somebody dies in this movie, somebody comes up and they trace a little circle around their body. They just like that.
Yeah, they do.
And then
it was chalk line.
Yeah.
Not that any detectives had shown up in between.
Nope. Yep. Just somebody at some point was like, there's a body here. Look like this. And then when they do Bubba's, he's got tiny little nub arms.
Yeah. They don't even do the full body chalk line.
Just like
they make him look like a fucking like Astar, a robot from the planet Danger.
Oh my god, except he didn't get a chance to put his arms back on before he died.
Because he couldn't, so he should have played safe.
I can't do shit with my puppet arms.
An important thing about the dominatrix sex dungeon scene when she's taking advantage of a man in a compromised situation.
Absolutely.
First of all, I wrote dressing as a dominatrix isn't going to force the cancer into remission. But also, Bubba comes in, sort of disturbs them, and goes, I told you to get dressed. And she goes, I did. Ryan and I both said she's going to say I did right before she said it. Mm-hmm. We fucking guessed that line right away.
Oh,
Felt
dude.
so good about it.
Well, I mean, what else do you say, really?
And then, because she realizes that Crawford's a non-option, starts to hit on Bubba, and Bubba goes, you're asking for it.
Eesh, I tried
First of all, yes, obviously. But don't say well, look at what you're wearing. No wonder. He also says it so menacingly, like as if she's not coming on to him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, I want this to be a rape fantasy if we're doing it.
Well, maybe it's the head injury. Maybe he's just describing things that he sees, It's like, you want sex. I can tell. I can see it.
He has to, part of CTE is just saying what you're observing. Right before he gets fucking eaten, The resonator is on, and he's trying to turn it off, and he gets lightninged by the Spencer's orb.
Yeah.
And he flies back and hits his head off of the control panel.
Yeah.
You can see padding on the control panel.
Yeah, you can.
It's amazing. And the special, like the thud that they used, is so funny. The sound design in this movie is hilarious for a couple of reasons.
Well, some of it is just Star Trek sounds.
Yep. The hospital doors, it's the fucking bridge door sound when it opens and
shuts.
It
certainly is. It certainly is.
When Crawford's trying to get Pretorius's attention at the very beginning, he's like banging on the door, but it's the softest tap ever. It doesn't match the enthusiasm with which he's hitting that door at all.
No, in the beginning, in the Silence of the Lamb Hall, the first guy who yells at her, whatever he says is not in sync with his lips.
No, it's not.
And I noticed that right away. I'm like, that's weird.
There were a couple instances at the beginning when the machine starts working for the first time where their dialogue is clearly voiced over in post. And it seems like they didn't really try to match the tone of what was being said at all. There were a couple times where it was like they're just reading lines in a sound booth, obviously.
Yeah.
Which is so 80s movie.
It really is.
That's in every fucking 80s movie ever. It's like the last thing they give a shit about.
Another note on the sound design, the Resonator sound effects were in Intergalactic by Beastie Boys.
Yes, I wrote that down as well, which is hilarious.
Love that. Love that fact.
That fucking Pretorius monster turns into something much worse during that Resonator scene.
Oh my god. Yeah, he just gets worse and worse the whole movie.
He's like a fucking blob with an alien neck and head that just looks like a big penis once again.
Yeah,
a big veiny dick neck.
See, I thought he looked like a scrotum Pokemon. He's got like the wrinkly skin.
Oh my god.
Big bulbous body, but like he went like full Pokemon and just
Scrodiosa.
Yeah.
The groundwater type.
Why the ground? It's dirty balls or
I have no idea. I just picked two.
Fucking noodle noggin here just becomes he's like a full on scrotal sack with legs and a giraffe neck.
And he says the best line, in my opinion, in the whole movie. I think it's Crawford and Katherine, or it's either Crawford and Katherine or Bubba and Katherine. Either way, they're like huddled together in fear, and he just fucking cranks his neck over and goes, "Kiss."
Yeah, he does.
That's it.
Oh,
I burst into tearful laughter when he said that shit.
He's like, kiss, my dear.
Yeah. But
then,
there's a beat. There was 3 seconds where all he said was kiss.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Horrifyingly.
There's another part where it's clearly a puppet. And he's like, you whore.
And he's like running at him.
Yeah.
And it's like the camera from behind his neck, and it's just
oh my god.
Undulating toward that poor woman.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
You said Bald Crawford looked like powder. Bald Crawford, I wrote down, looks like Maynard James Keenan.
I don't know who that is.
Is the vocalist from Tool.
Oh,
and if you were to see the vocalist from Tool when he's bald-headed, it looks a lot like him.
Oh,
he's very gaunt, and he's got huge eyes.
Is he okay? Is he sick?
Oh, no, he's fine.
Because
he's just a weirdo.
This is what you look like when you're sick.
Here's the thing about this fucking movie, too. Everything we've described up to this point, that's half the movie.
Yeah.
We're halfway through this movie at this point.
Yeah.
It is so jam-packed with shit. There was never a dull moment in the whole movie.
It's a lot of movie.
Yeah, fuck it is.
The original story for this movie, 7 pages long.
Yes, I did know that. H.P. Lovecraft wrote a 7-page short story, and they made a fucking 2-hour horror fest out of it.
H.P. Lovecraft hates water, loves slimy kisses. He loves those slimy smooches. That's a fact you get to know about it.
That's why he put the fucking water in the basement. He wanted to make it horrible.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with a name to call these guys, because at one point, Pretorius is like, you're evolving into something that's never existed before, as his pineal gland is shooting out of his head.
Yeah.
So I was trying to come up with a name for that. I was thinking either spaghetti head, nightcrawler noggin, or I had another good one here, noodle noggin.
I just wrote anglerfish.
Anglerfish. I like that too.
Because it's the fucking bulb with the light on the end of it.
Yeah.
So then they fucking get out, right? And they go back to the hospital.
I think eventually somebody blows up the machine.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's Catherine or if it's...
I don't remember who either. One of those two, though, because Crawford's indisposed.
Yeah, well...
He's so fucked up, obviously.
Well, it certainly isn't... not Crawford, Bubba. You're talking about... Because he's noodle arms. You gotta...
No, I meant Crawford because he's been in the fucking sex dungeon asleep.
That's right. Okay, so maybe it was Catherine.
It might have also been Crawford, honestly.
Honestly... I had a little bit of THC in my body.
I spaced out for that.
I needed it for this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, the machine runs despite the efforts to shut it down, and at no point does Bubba pull out his gun and shoot it.
Yeah, which he should have.
He
really that gun goes underutilized. Like this whole movie.
It really does. He fires it one time, and I think it's because he was trying to avoid doing the paperwork that you have to do, the required paperwork when you pull your service revolver.
Yeah, when you discharge your weapon in the field.
Typical lazy ass cops.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just sweeping under the rug.
Unbelievable.
I'm surprised he didn't just like sprinkle some cocaine onto Pretorius's horrible corpse.
Right. So yeah, it explodes. That's how they shut the machine down. But then the movie keeps going.
It does. You think that's the end?
You would think.
It ain't.
No, it ain't. And
they go right back to Shithead Hospital with Dr. Shitbitch Bloch, as if it's the only hospital in the Western Hemisphere. Go to a different one.
And like this dude was in an explosion. Maybe don't take him to an insane, like a mental hospital. Take him to a real hospital because you've got fucking Dr. Bloch here. Looks like she's doing something off the books, trying to like figure out what's in this hole in Crawford's head.
She's got those fucking like forceps or whatever they're called, and she's just around.
It looks like the tools for like a barbecue when you're flipping hot dogs.
Yeah, they do.
That's what she's got.
Prongs, I believe. Prongs or tongs, either way. I don't know if tongs is a surgical word for him. It sure shouldn't be if it is. So she's in there trying to rip this fucking third eye worm out of his forehead like a botfly larva.
No idea what it is. Just like, oh, there's something. Let's get that out of there.
And it doesn't want to come out. No. I wouldn't be fucking around with that shit.
But there's like she tries. Like it's a long scene of her like trying to get this thing, and it like pokes out a little bit. I see you.
Like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, back down into the skull I go.
And so for me, she lost all of her professional integrity at that point.
Oh, yeah.
She can't even extract a worm from a body.
And she seems really unfazed by it. Like,
oh, I see this every day.
Oh, it was this brain worms. Yeah, typical.
That's fine. It makes sense.
And then she like runs in. What did you do to him? This is why you shouldn't have taken him because the brain worms that I've seen 100 times.
During that scene, the worm's poking out and dicking around, and Crawford's obviously supposed to be unconscious.
Yeah.
But you can see him blink.
Yeah, you can.
Whoops.
I don't. Well, he does like get right up and just suck her brain out of her eye socket. So I'm thinking he's in on it. Like he
knows.
He's like an angler fish.
Yeah, like a predator. He's waiting for his moment.
Yeah, he's trying to get her in there. Do you think? Okay, because like this guy's the way he feeds.
Yeah.
The way Crawford decides to start eating brains
is by sucking them out through eye.
Yeah, do you think you could suck an eye out and then begin to suck the brain out through the eye? I don't think you can.
You'd have to do something with that eye in your mouth.
Well, yeah, you spit it out, of course, but like I don't know if you could suck hard enough to get that brain coming out through the socket.
I don't know. Maybe he's got mad dome game.
Well,
he's got a lot of practice swinging that neck.
He's literally he's not giving her brain, but he's removing brain.
Yeah, he's taking brain.
It's a brain job.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing, like he's fine when this thing isn't sticking out of his head, but the second this noodle starts coming out of his head, he goes into brain sucking mode.
Yeah, he becomes hungry. And for some reason, everything looks like an old 3D movie.
Yeah. I really thought that was funny when like the thing comes out of his head and he's like, "Oh my god, it's beautiful." Cut to like the effects of a VCR camera from 1994.
Yeah, and you just like cranked the tint.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, it's like the inverted like look of like one of those bad filters from a bad old camera.
It's the fucking Predator's like SpectraVision.
It basically is, except he only sees brains.
Yeah, and he doesn't get to be invisible.
What kind of mental institution just has a bucket of brains on the floor?
That's a great question. One that would fail an FDA inspection.
Where are they getting these brains?
FCC.
I got a lot of questions about the brains. Like. That's the part where I lost it. Like the movie was fine up until
there's a bucket of brains for no reason.
A bucket of brains.
Dr. Bloch is so pissed at this woman Katherine for doing experiments on schizophrenics. Meanwhile, she's just taking brains out thrice weekly and throwing them in a bucket for later.
She's got enough brains that necessitate an entire bucket.
Yeah.
So, and they're like in there willy-nilly, not even labeled.
So, like, it's just a buffet for Crawford.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Thank God they brought me back to this institution where there's just food on the floor for me.
yeah. Oh my God. So then do they go back to the house? I feel like they do. They go back to the house. I kind of, at this point, I was just in it for the ride.
Yeah.
My notes become few and far between, but
They sure do.
I did note that Pretorius looked like a Power Ranger villain. He looked like, he's like Ivan's ooze.
Ivan Ooze!
Oh
my fucking God.
And then he kills Crawford, or he bites his head off. That's what it is. He twists that guy's head off.
Yeah.
And then he becomes like a Russian nesting doll of flesh and Crawford and like wiggle worms.
I don't know at what point there's like some kind of rejuvenation potion inside of Pretorius's fucking, because Crawford comes out of his mouth.
Oh, he
or
does.
neck hole or whatever it is.
Oh,
and he's
makes
got
a hole.
hair again. Like we just went back in time a week.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, the fourth dimension, man. That's, you become whatever you want.
So
He just wanted hair.
So before they go back to the house, and I believe it's because there is a police officer who needs the full story. So they have to return to the house in order to get the entire picture. Katherine also gets admitted to this mental institution. And out of spite, Dr. Bloch decides, let's give her electroshock.
Oh, yeah. She just hands that out.
And you know what? Fuck it. ECT.
Yep.
Let's scramble your brain before I take it out and put it in the bucket.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. Electroshock therapy. Took her like 5 seconds to prescribe that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're ornery? Shock the shit,
Yeah.
this bitch.
Which is so, like, that's a pretty 1960s way to handle somebody who's panicking.
It's also
Who's
like,
hysterical.
is that not what you were mad at her for doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
just a second ago?
So now you're just as bad.
Just as bad.
So the electroshock gets interrupted by a cop in spectacular, I believe it's called Carpe Diem.
Okay.
When there is like in order to progress a movie, there is like a godlike event that happens that like stops something from happening.
Okay.
It's not Carpe Diem, it's Deus Ex Machina.
There you go. It's, hey.
Carpe Diem is seize the day, which everybody seems to be doing if seizing the day means turning on the Resonator and getting fucked up.
Yeah.
You only live once.
You better get that pineal gland just vibing.
And
Yeah.
when they go back to the house, Katherine just has a bomb.
Oh, yeah. That's where it is. That's where the bomb came from.
Yeah.
I got ahead of myself here. Yeah, she just has like a very professional timing bomb, just
No
timer,
idea where this fucking bomb came from.
full
at all.
on sticks of dynamite, like no receipt for this, had to wait 5 days to get these.
No.
Just
there was no
like-
72-hour hold while they check your criminal background.
Just tree stump popping, good times here.
Yeah. Also, the bomb is wired electrically, obviously. And they make a very large point of saying that this resonator manipulates electricity.
Hey,
It's not going to just turn the fucking bomb off?
it's the power of horny.
The power of horny can't turn off a bomb?
No.
You'd think it would be, I guess it would be all for promoting an explosion.
I'm trying my best to seal the holes here
Yeah.
that you're making wider. Yeah, no, and then like I think he goes to like at some point he goes to suck out the brain of Katherine, and she just bites his little eye dick off.
Yeah, she sure does, which is so gross.
Yeah, it is.
Effective, but gross.
But like that's like a part of his brain you just bit off. Like how is you would think that he's probably gonna need a minute to just like
My
hold up
brain penis.
memories and things that I was thinking about are now on the floor here.
Then partially in your mouth.
Yeah, Jesus.
I had Goo Pile, Crawford, and Pretorius because they assimilate into each other. Looks like two dogs fighting in a park. Because it's like their heads are like together and it's just like a mess of like hair and slime.
Yeah, and there was like some wriggly like skull snakes that try to grab
Yeah.
Katherine and hold her down for the bomb. She just throws herself out the fucking window.
Yeah, she does. You know what's really funny? It takes her entirely too long to throw herself out the window.
Yeah, it does.
She's like running around the house doing things, and the whole time Ryan is in behind me in my ear. Jump out the window. You know what I do? I jump right out the window right now.
Yeah, you would think.
And then fucking like a minute and a half later, she does, and he just goes, "Thank you."
Well, the bomb wasn't close to going off yet.
Yeah.
You had to really cut it close, or else you would have been like, just go through the front door.
And so fucking, who lights the matches?
That's her.
That's her?
Because she's chained up because that's right. Crawford chains her up in the sex room.
Right.
And she tries to get the snakes to like bite the.
Yes.
And for some reason, they only take bites out of just what's like holding her there.
What's moving currently.
Yeah.
I think is the thing. So she's just like aiming her wrist with the strap on it.
Yeah.
So that the interdimensional air snake can bite that specific spot.
And then that's all they bite. They just take little nips out of it. And
they don't care about the rest of the arm or hand.
We got you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she gets free. And then she like lights the matches to.
And for some reason, gets to run out of the room. Because the snakes get attracted to the matches.
Yeah. How
the fuck is lighting a pack of matches and throwing it more movement than her entire body moving around the house?
She threw the matches right next to the door.
Yeah. Bring the snakes to the door I have to get out of.
Yeah, so she had to run by those things.
You idiot. Throw them in the corner.
How did they not at least sense that movement and go after
right
there?
Beside, exactly. You're good. The snakes make no sense.
I liked them though.
They're likable snakes for sure.
They're great snakes, snakes to have around. Mm-hmm. And apparently they're around us all the time. We just can't see them until we get our pineal gland vibrating.
Yeah. So
pineal.
Punch yourself in the back of the head 30 times. Get that shit good and swole.
Oh yeah. You want the base of your skull to just be swole with juice. Pineal juice.
Yeah, man. And then she, jumps out the window, blows up the machine. Roll credits.
That's that.
Roll fucking credits.
Roll those credits.
All right, I guess.
Boom.
And for like the movie is so like unhinged in terms of pace. Mm-hmm. The first half of this movie is like a whole movie, and then the second half is its sequel.
Yeah, they really just had to shoe it in there just to like
sandwich it together like that.
Well, the movie did run out of money before they finished it, so I think that's kind of
all of that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I think they
I'm sure there were more scenes to shoot, and they're just like, well, whoops.
They filmed it in Italy for cheap.
Yeah.
And then apparently not cheap enough.
We spent all this budget on these horrible gooey monsters.
Yeah, their half their budget was on various slimes and eye snakes.
As if the camera was on a fucking timer, and as soon as the budget ticked down to zero, it just shut off.
Well, that's that.
All right, directed by Stuart Gordon. Now, here's something interesting about Stuart Gordon, right?
Okay.
And this is also, I thought, like, it was weird that this movie got essentially, like, no press. Like, nobody knows what From Beyond is.
Yeah.
Stuart Gordon also directed Reanimator.
There you go.
Which is, like, one of the most popular 80s body movies. And it's also got fucking Crawford in it.
Yeah, so he was going to make a bunch of H.P. Lovecraft movies with like the same cast because somebody else did that with another
I think that would be a fucking really good idea.
I think it was Edgar Allan Poe. They made a bunch of Poe movies with the same cast.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that was the plan. And then,
just like create essentially like a horrible Marvel universe of hell.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Did I say Marvel?
Yeah,
I might have said marble.
Marble slab.
I'll kill myself tonight. It's all good.
It's kind of like what's that other American Horror Story?
Yeah.
How they keep just redoing the stuff.
Different characters, same actors.
Yeah.
Similar uni.
Boom. There you go. Yeah, that's the movie.
It's the fucking movie, dude. It's a trip.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's
like a little bit difficult to talk about like chronologically because it's fucked.
Yeah, there's too much going on.
Yeah. Tons, which I liked because it's like jam packed.
Helicopter
kept my attention.
Helicopter dick flapping around. I wrote that down.
Good. I'm glad you wrote down helicopter dick.
That's all I could see was just that slapping her in the face as he's sucking her out her eye. Like that's it, right? You're just gonna slap her in the face with your dick as you suck her brain out. That's cool, man.
So the way that barnacles reproduce, right?
Yeah.
They stick out one long feeler and they just fucking until they find a hole.
That's
and then
not
they
a good way.
Yeah, no, I mean, because what if you get it inside a shark's mouth? You're playing a lot of dangerous games with that.
You are. Yeah, I hope they evolve eyes soon, because, I mean, it's got to be rough down there.
Yeah.
Just like...
On the bottoms of ships, just going wherever it takes you. No fucking control like a kidnapped victim in Brazil.
Well, what would they get on a boat for anyway? That's their own fault.
It is. There's nothing good about the underside of a boat.
Yeah.
It's just wet and wood.
Yeah, what are you going to do with your dick foot on the bottom side of a boat? Oh, shit. So that's the movie.
It is.
That's the movie.
Enjoy that very confusing description of this movie.
Yeah, I hope you're intrigued enough to go watch it, because you really oughta.
Yeah, as uncomfortable as it is, I would categorize it as quite a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, every character makes it weird.
Yeah, nailing a lot of my sensibilities as well with the practical effects.
When I think practical effects, this is the first movie that comes to mind.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, similarly, I would think The Thing.
The Thing is another good one, which I'm excited for.
Or just, like Old Nightmare on Elm Streets as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those were always kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good practical effects. What are you going to give it out of 10?
This movie for me, because I wasn't bored. I didn't find myself very confused. I was pissed at one thing when they go down into the basement and they see the worm and they're shocked by it.
Yeah.
Crawford goes, the vibrations must be able to reach down here. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, because they didn't ever before.
There wasn't any monsters in between there and the basement either.
No. It was all relegated to that one upstairs room, and now we're in the basement too.
And there was it seemed like there was almost like a guardian pole system, like a railing that went around the room.
Yeah, there was, and it was
it
was clearly copper as well.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
which is what that's for. That's why copper coils exist.
I was thinking to myself, it's like, science can't be that difficult. It seems like they just get a bunch of whatever and just say it does what it does, and it does that thing.
Science is determined entirely by my laziness putting something together.
Yeah, this machine, it vibrates your pineal gland. I said it does. See the tuning forks? They're going to go purple in a second. Mm-hmm. Hold on to your shit.
That's where they come from. Oh, and so where is this something researched and hypothesized? Hypothesis has been proven? No, I just said so.
I think I read a dictionary once. Mm-hmm. So this seems about right.
I know tons of words.
Ah, yes, words.
That's where the Resonator gets its power. Yeah,
this is just one of those movies that they should have listened to the guy in the beginning.
Yeah,
and everything would have been fine.
The dude is insane.
Well,
he's under lock and key.
Apparently,
and he goes, I had to destroy the machine because it killed my mentor. All right, we won't go there then. I don't know how much schizophrenia needs to be cured if this is the cost. Mm-hmm. Maybe just have schizophrenic people instead. Yeah. None of them are turning into a large mouth and eating half a person.
Or maybe like a professional should come about. Just a professional and not just a lady who wants to get horny.
Yeah, a lady who probably got 60s in fucking university for psychology. And a guy whose job it is to code things.
You know what? Let's just call her what she is. She's a nympho.
If she wasn't before, she certainly becomes one.
This machine makes you it's the nympho machine.
It's the nympholator.
So out of 10.
8.
8?
Yeah.
I like it.
Solid 8.
I like it.
It only lost points because of some continuity issues and some very convenient occurrences, like the cops showing up before the chick gets her brain shocked.
Yeah.
Just explaining away the vibrations in the basement.
Yeah. That's a thing sometimes.
Bubba's complete inability to be a competent police officer. What is it with cops in H.P. Lovecraft movies being shitty? They're always bad.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. All cops are bastards. And I mean, that's been a proven fact. If you're a cop, I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
You listen to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably pushing pencils around the desk,
I'd be surprised if you're listening to a horror movie podcast while you're filling out racial profiling reports.
And if you got somebody locked up in the back of your car right now, what's up, guy? What'd you do?
Hey, man.
What's up? You shouldn't have been doing that thing you've been doing.
You might be able to kick that window out if you try hard enough. I think I've seen it happen.
1, 2, 3. Do it. Okay, don't do it. I'm just kidding.
Or be like that guy in the fucking one episode of Under Arrest who's so pissed he just starts bashing his head off of the glass divider.
Oh my god, yeah. To know anything, just a head wound. That's all he gets out of that.
The fucking guy's like, yeah, all right. the cop driving is just like, stop.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get you a paper towel when we get there. You're gonna have to clean that up.
Yeah, basically laughing in the man's face.
Yeah.
Good behavior.
Good Lord.
Saskatchewan police. Pretty sure it was Manitoba, something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Nice. All right.
I'd give it a 9 if it wasn't for the fact that his fingers got real long and then he just like molested a lady. Without the weird sex stuff, this would have been a full on 9.
You'd have been cool.
9.5.
You would have been cooler with it had he not extended his fucking spider leg fingers and used them to touch a poor victimless lady up and down.
Yes, I think I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more had he not done that. Yes.
Had he not licked her face and said taste?
I was fine with that.
Had he not been so obsessed with watching people kiss?
I was okay with that too.
Had he not whipped a woman on tape?
I could have done without that.
That's your Epstein smoking gun right there. He's getting canceled on Twitter tomorrow.
Oh my God, done. I also could have done without him just being like, there's your titty. Just like with a magician pulling a sheet out from underneath some dishes. Yeah. Just like, there's your titty. Gotcha.
Hey man, let those things breathe.
8.5.
Yeah.
8.5.
I think this is probably the closest rating so far.
Yeah.
Unless we have one, I maybe from memory there was one where we both had the exact same number, but I don't.
It might have been Jeepers Creepers.
It may have been, yeah.
Yeah. It's your turn to pick, I guess.
It's my turn to pick a movie.
I'm at a loss here for
It's a bit of a jarring film.
Like I feel like there's 800 more things to say about it, but I got nothing.
I wrote 4.5 fucking pages. It's the most I've written about any movie.
I've got 5 myself.
Yeah. The second time in a row that you've beaten me on writing.
Yeah.
So, for next week's podcast.
Okay.
I wrote down a bunch of themes and then I chose a bunch of movies that fit the themes.
Okay.
And I narrowed it down to 3.
Okay.
I really wanted to get it to 2, but I couldn't decide between these 3.
Okay.
In hindsight, I can think of one that I want to watch the least, but that's just because it's a fucking disgusting movie.
I'm excited.
So my themes were insanity, obviously, because it's H.P. Lovecraft.
Okay.
Machines to alternate dimensions.
Ooh.
Sexual pleasure beings. Because that's a thing.
Yeah.
Proving that you're sane successfully, because Crawford eventually, he gets his point proven right away. That one. Portals to other worlds with monsters. Science experiments gone wrong. Body horror. And unlocking forbidden secrets. So, your movie choices are alternate dimension fuck demons. Science experiments gone wrong that result in zombies, and horrible body horror science experiment.
Give me that body horror.
Do you want the third one?
Give me the third one.
Human centipede it is.
Oh, no.
You fucked up.
What have I done?
You fucked right up.
What have I done? No.
It's important to me that you know that the other 2 options were Hellraiser and Resident Evil. You picked the worst one.
Oh, I knew one was Hellraiser, and
You picked the worst one without hesitation.
I was hoping that it was going to be like one of those weird Japanese films. Or like you got the...
Maybe later.
The Thing. I was hoping for The Thing. Mm-hmm. Fuck, well...
Human centipede first sequence.
That might be the only one we watched too. I'm gonna throw this out here. You probably don't have to watch that movie before you listen to our podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna let you know exactly what's in that movie.
Yeah, there's just like the name Human Centipede.
Mm-hmm. Think real hard about what that might mean.
Yeah, if you've not seen it already, you know shot for shot everything that happens in that movie.
It's kind of like Two Girls, One Cup. Where if you make it to like age 26 without having seen it, you don't need to.
Oh, boy. Yeah. You've probably had enough people describe that film to you. I remember when it first came out.
Yeah.
And somebody described it to me. I'm like, there's no way that's a film. Mm-hmm. That's not a real film.
You were fucking stoked for it.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember watching it walking home, and then I made a review of it on YouTube, and it got like 300,000 views.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I think I also did the second one because I remember there being a line where you say, and then he takes his dick out, and it's crazy.
You know, that I am picturing the second one, and I know exactly what he does to his dick that makes it fucking crazy.
He jerks off with sandpaper, everyone. Right there in a security guard booth desk at a parking garage. Like he doesn't care.
That poor. I met that man.
Yeah.
I met him.
Wasn't he charging money for autographs like he's important?
He did try to charge me $20 for a picture, and I'm like,
$20 for a picture.
I was like, I got 10. And he's like, that'll do.
Yeah, it will.
Like, oh yeah, will it? What if I said I didn't have anything? Would you just take one with me anyway?
Yeah, a dirty quarter from the fucking cup holder in my car would do.
Oh God. Yeah.
That $20 for a picture is Ian McKellen money.
Yeah, it is. $20 for a picture. You would think that you were at Fan Expo in Toronto and not in the basement of a convention center next to the park where people do meth and have drum circles. You would think, but
you walk a fucking block away from where that's held, and it's just a shanty town of tents and tarps.
I paid that little man $10, and I got a photo with him, so it's there.
Money well spent on that frog-headed man.
I guess so, eh?
Nobody on Earth looks more like a toad than that guy.
It was I meet him, or I'm the guy from Devil's Rejects, the clown.
Sid Haig.
That's the guy.
You fucked up. You should have met him instead.
I met him too. I just didn't get a picture with him.
That motherfucker is dead now.
He certainly is. He didn't seem very alive when I met him.
Oh, he aged poorly. I don't know what the fuck. He must have been sick.
It seemed like his outer shell was dead, but the bones were still being moved by muscle.
And it's because he lost a shitload of weight. He's like those, the people who like start off at like 360 pounds. They start working out.
Yeah.
And like they go on keto. They lose 200 pounds in like 3 months.
We're looking at you, Pendulette.
And then they're just like a fucking ball sack handbag.
We're looking at you, Pendulette.
Yeah. How's that? You're like a flying squirrel with the extra skin you got.
But you know what? Whatever keeps Pendulette around longer, I'm all right with it.
He's a good guy.
I'm all right with it.
I got both your books if you're listening, Pen.
And if you're listening, please come do magic.
I liked God No more than I liked Presto.
I every once in a while I say to people, your asshole is not an English muffin, and
that's what
that stuck with me.
Similarly, from an episode of Penn and Teller's Bullshit. Oh, did you do all of that hard-hitting research in your ass?
Oh, that's another good show. Just Google it. It's on the internet. Check it out.
Penn and Teller's Bullshit is fantastic.
Oh shit. Well, that's the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Grindhouse Movie Club. You listened to it. You got through it. Next week, it's going to be a little harder, but stick it out. I promise we'll make it as entertaining as eating shit can be. I promise. That is my guarantee.
Yeah.
Go check out darkroastcult.com. You listen to all the podcasts. You can pick up some coffee, some other stuff. It's all right there. Go. We got a Discord too. It's really hard to link you to the Discord because the Discord link is nonsense.
Yeah.
And it expires.
It's like a fucking encrypted RSS link or some shit.
It's weird. So if you're listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, and if the link is there, click it, and if it works, you're in.
Fantastic.
If it doesn't work, go to a newer episode and click that one.
Yeah.
And if it works, you're in.
Why the fuck does it expire?
I don't know.
It's not like
no
the
idea.
Discord goes somewhere.
I know it doesn't. It's right there. We got a spot. We got a spot for you to suggest movies. We got a spot for you to like chat with people. There's it's a group chat. It's a big group chat with folks.
Ain't that awesome? By the way, Bree Nichols, I saw your email. There's no way I'm watching fucking House at the End of the Street. I don't need to see Jennifer Lawrence's puffy cheeks and squinty eyes any more than I already have. Sorry.